in our entire nation who can join the battle. So you really do have to reload and recharge between fights. In fact, when I finish sieging these, I'm not going to siege any more than this. This is going to be plenty of sieging. We won't actually get a 100% war score, but that's going to be okay. For our purposes, we're going to get plenty. So I'm going to start pulling the people back into Russian territory so that I don't have to worry about losing any more to attrition. Now, see, we're under 7,000 people left on our manpower pool. I mean, we're reinforcing these guys fine. Each one of these armies is at full strength. Oh, well, not all of them entirely, but pretty close to full strength. 15% attrition because we're now in a severe winter. There's some amount of randomness there. Okay, won a siege. Now, this is technically friendlier territory at this point. So apparently we're not getting any attrition here whatsoever, which is actually quite nice, which means I could leave people here. And actually, I'm semi-blocked in over here, so maybe I will. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send these guys over to Ladoga. And you can see here, it says 6. I actually only have about 2,000 men myself, but the Muscovian army is attached to ours. Our vassals move their troops to our troops and then will attach themselves to us and will automatically follow. So even though we don't have that many troops here ourselves, we actually got a pretty big chunk. So you know what? We're going to go to Novgorod simply to kill this little regiment here and mostly force them out, and then we'll follow them into Rezov. I got to pick countries that I can pronounce next time. Actually, there aren't very many of those. Okay, Siege of Kolm has finished. Siege of Torzhok, which is good. Our war score has gone up considerably, partially because we no longer have the negative in that we don't own Kolm. And now, we gain 8 war score just from occupying Kolm, but then our war goal is going to give us that ticking score. And I think it goes up to 20%. It might be 25. And that's in addition to the 8.4 we're getting just from actually occupying the province. So we're going to get a lot of war score just from this. So I'm going to pull back my troops here and here at this point. They're probably going to escape. Small armies tend to move faster than big ones. Oh, no, we did catch them. Fantastic. I think because they had to cross a river, it slowed them down. There, just eliminate those guys a little bit more. And now that's slightly less attrition going on. So I'm going to let the rest of these sieges finish as is and leave my troops in friendly territory here. There we go. Merge these guys. Actually, I'm going to swing them around to below 0 as well, just to group everything up. The one annoying thing with people automatically following your army is sometimes it can put you above a supply limit somewhere, so that can be a little annoying, but we should generally be okay. It's now May. As long as we're in friendly territory, we should have no attrition. Lovely. So yeah, just waiting for the rest of the sieges to finish, get the war goal kicking on. We could go and keep cleaning up these little armies. It's like hardly worth it. We're gonna group up, split in half, send one here to block them. Actually, where are they going? Good. I'm gonna encourage them to finish their move and then get started here. So they're gonna get here on the 31st, so they're gonna land here and then our troops are gonna go there, and they couldn't stop their movement because we had some troops still going over to Volga. So I like to do that a lot. Let's just keep cutting them off. Oh. Yeah, we might not be able to catch them. Small armies too fast. Oh, we got an foreign drill instructor available. So we can hire him. It'll cost us 35 gold, but give us 20 army tradition. Probably not worth it for us because it would actually have to take out a loan. Or we can decline it. We lose prestige, which sucks, but I think it's going to be fine here. We accumulated a fair bit of prestige from all the battles that we've won, and it's going to be fine. Prestige is nice. It gives us a lot of benefits. You can see here, quite a lot of benefit all over, but we can live without it. Now let's go ahead and drop into Novgorod just to give them a hard time. Why not? Good stuff. Okay, just 2 more sieges left to go. Not getting much attrition right now because it's winter, so I'm going to go ahead and sit there just to annoy them. That's it. Literally, I'm just there to give them a hard time. So our war goal, you can see, because we occupy Kolm, is ticking up. And we're probably going to end the war before we get 100% there. But now I'm wondering if maybe I should actually just go and siege more. Why not? Just continue to speed things up. Maybe I should have done that sooner. Although there's... Yeah, look at this. We're almost out of manpower completely. This really is costing us quite a bit here. 58% war score. You know what? That's going to be fine. I am not going to go after them. After all, I'm going to go ahead and just preserve my my manpower as much as possible. We still got this unit here, but let's see what we can sue for peace at this point. So you can click on this shield here, and then click on this button to talk about peace, or you can simply right-click on the shield, which will bring you to the person leading the war. Right now, Novgorod is the only person on the other side, so no matter what, we're negotiating with them. So we've got a lot of things we can do. Now, we could offer tribute if we were losing, but we're not, so we're going to go demand tribute. Also, I recommend, just to avoid certain mistakes, often when you bring up the screen, first thing you should do, just clear the offer. Make sure there's nothing that was still on the table from last time, because, yeah, I've made that mistake a lot. Or if you're sure that it's the same deal and everything is the way you want it, it's good. So we have 58% war score. So we can ask for 58% war score worth of stuff. You can see that everything here has a certain war score cost. You can sort based on these columns, so if I do this, I can get the cheapest stuff up top. And certainly I'd probably want to ask for column first. Now, there's a certain diplomatic power cost as you negotiate this peace. Because Colm was our war goal, it costs us no diplomatic power whatsoever. And then we can throw in some more stuff. Now, we can see how high we can get. Oops, I toggled something off accidentally. Interestingly enough, even though this peace offer is worth 57 and we have 58% war goal, they would not accept. Because right now they've got more negatives than positives, and if we look, so the war score is a positive, okay, and then there's some extra positive added to that because we're occupying, besieging a lot of stuff, but because the war actually was not been a very long war, there's minus 31 on the negative side. They also hold their capital, okay, and they feel pretty good about their military strength, which seems weird to me. Because sometimes what can happen, so here they're not willing to take up to the war score. But if this were a longer war and they were getting more worn down, they had more war exhaustion, they might be able to give up more than the war score worth of stuff. The war score and the peace offered value can never go above 100. It's possible to get more from a peace offer than you have war score, but not if you have 100. That'll always be capped there. You'll also notice that the full annexation would cost us 229% war score to annex all of Novgorod, which is the reason that we can't do it right now. We've got to break them up into smaller chunks before we get that close. There's also, under the treaties, there's the opportunity to ask them to become our vassal. It's the same war score as annexing them outright. The advantage of doing this way has to do with the fact that we can then diplomatically annex them later on, which saves us the cost of coring everything, but it takes longer. So, you know, there's pros and cons. What I really want is to release nation here with Finland. They will take that, but I don't like the fact that they're not willing to give up a lot more. You can't even take Colm and release Finland. Okay, so you know what? Even though we're out of manpower, I guess we still are going to occupy them a little bit longer. At this point, frankly, it's less about taking over more territory and more about giving us more ticking war score from the fact that we control Colm, and also just making that length, that minus 31 from the length of war modifier, shrink down. But if we take over some more territory, it's good. Now, if at any point we control 100% of their territory, we will automatically have a 100% war goal, and they cannot refuse anything at this point. It doesn't matter, you know, how many allies they've got, anything like that. If we're at 100%, if we control everything in their country, they have to give up instantly. Now, keep in mind, they will still not give up anything more than 100% war score, which means it's entirely possible that send these guys to Neva. It's entirely possible that you still won't be able to annex everything, even if you control everything. These guys show that a little trio of army over there, but we're probably going to keep ignoring that. You go to Kola, you go to Karelia. Oh, actually, hold on. You go to Neva. You go to Karelia, and when you get there, we'll have you split in half. Actually, I suppose I can split you in half now. Send you to Kola. There, we'll try to grab everything. Of course, winter is coming again. That's a stark thing to say. Ooh, tension along the Reziv border. Lithuania has actually gained a claim on our province, which is really bad. Because right now we have no manpower. If Lithuania decides to go to war with us, we'd be in bad shape. Their rivals include the Ottomans and me. And they have no enemies, though. It would be really nice if the Ottomans declared Lithuania as one of their rivals. Now, since I can see, if I right-click on myself, I can see enemies include Lithuania and Tver. I know I say it differently every time. The fact that Lithuania has declared me to be a rival, I will rival them right back. Boom. Now we're probably going to be enemies forever. What I'm hoping is that the Ottomans will declare them to be enemies or something like that. And so I can build up some sort of alliance and protect myself against them. Because they could actually give me a pretty hard time right now. I've dedicated a lot of military to taking Novgorod. And I'm going to be forced very soon to just get some sort of peace deal. See, now they'd be willing to take it. The length of war is 1 less than before. I think they're feeling less confident about their military strength. I'm not sure. Yeah. And, but still. And we're getting more war score from just the ticking of Kulm. But we're going to keep this going anyway. We definitely don't want to lose a province to these guys. That would be very, very annoying. But I don't think they were going to be able to manage that. Send these guys here. Apparently moved my troops around stupidly here. So just keep an eye on this. This percentage is the percentage chance that the province will fall through the siege this month. So it starts off in the negatives. There's no chance of this flipping at all. And then there's a variety of mechanics involved in increasing that percentage chance. But it means I don't have to worry about this right now. They have no chance at this time of winning Belarus. National Epic. Oh, yeah. Lose a little admin power and lose some money, but you get +1 prestige every year for 10 years. Oh, that's not worthwhile at all. Or we just lose prestige, which sucks, but we're going to do that. Now, I don't have enough to boost my stability, which is a shame. We're also getting quite a bit of war exhaustion at this point, which is not good, but we can live with it. I really would like to get +2 stability, though. We'll see what we can do about that. Siege all the things in the middle of winter? Sure, I didn't need any living people in my nation. That's fine. We can speed things up at this point. So we're just going to end this war, and then we'll probably wrap up this video. I hope this was a good introduction to how you might want to play Muscovy. This was a pretty aggressive start. You don't have to jump on Novgorod instantly like I do. On the other hand, the longer you wait for some of that stuff, the more it increases the chance that people will end up with allies that might make things dangerous. Like Tver over here is improving relations with Lithuania and the Livonian Order. Almost certainly they're going to try to form an alliance with one of these two. And that can actually put you in a really bad position, especially if you're trying to go after them militaristically. Okay, so we want to siege there, which is great. Now, what I'm going to do is position myself potentially to go and knock these guys out of Belarus in a moment here. In fact, what'll probably happen, we'll win our siege in Novgorod, and then we'll just go and smoosh them from both sides. Flanking doesn't really help in terms of giving extra strength necessarily. There we go. We won Novgorod. Look, our war goal, our war score has gone up to 87% now, which is great. And even though this will cost me more manpower, I think it's worthwhile doing this. So you'll arrive on the 24th, you will arrive on the 30th. So I don't want the stack of 4 to engage that soon. I'm going to have them hold back for a couple of days here before I send them in again. 87% war score is pretty gosh damn good. But, you know what? We're about to win some more sieges. I'm going to wait a sec, especially since it'll continue to increase our ticking war goal. So let's go ahead and win the one more siege. So you're going to be escaping on the 29th. We're going to get there on the 30th. Damn it. We're not going to be able to smoosh these guys. It's very annoying. Oh well, that's alright. We're going to take Neva. Or Neva. And a lot of these will fall quite quickly here too, because there's not much in the way of defenses like forts and things. There we go. 97% war score. Okay. That's pretty much as good as it's going to get. So, we will have the detached Finland, and we can see, let's clear the demands. If I go to Release Nation and Finland, you can see these 3 provinces will become highlighted. These are the 3 that will break away and become Finland. And Finland will like us. You know what? That sounds good to me. And then seed provinces, I can sort by war goal again. It depends. Sometimes you're going to want to grab the more expensive, more valuable ones, which means you get less provinces overall, but you get good ones, and sometimes you just want the cheapest. Again, certainly I want Kulm. I think I would like Torzok just for strategic reasons. And then what else do I want to grab at that point? Maybe the Olonets, simply because then I will border Finland, who are going to be my ally. That's bringing me to 95. I can't add another province because they're all going to bring me over 100, which they'll never accept. There's very little else that they'd be willing to give me. What I can do is actually ask them for a little bit of money. There we go. Give me 40 gold as well. There is a downside now to asking for money in peace deals in that it will give us a tiny bit of inflation, but I think this is going to be worth it. 0.1 inflation for the 40 gold. Plus, it will weaken Novgorod because it means they have less money as well. So I'm totally in favor of doing this. Note that the peace deal is worth 100, and they're still willing to take it despite the fact that our war score is 97. That's because the we have a lot of bonuses on our side. We have the war score, plus we occupy most of them, plus we are gaining more and more territory constantly. The AI is smart enough to realize that we are still making gains in this war. They're just going to lose more and more stuff. We also have good alliances on our side. We have 3 vassals, and Novgorod is also getting tired of the war. So we're going to send these demands. They're going to certainly accept. Boom. There we go. So now we have an independent Finland. Now, all of our troops that are in foreign territory here have this little black flag. They're currently in exile. It means they're not in friendly territory. They cannot battle while this is the case. Same thing in Finland here. Now, we could go to Finland and ask them for military access, in which case our troops wouldn't technically be considered to be in exile anymore. But the advantage of being in exile means you can go through other people's territory. So I cannot march into Finland from here, or Sweden. I'm just gonna say, I'm pretty sure it won't allow me to do that, but apparently in this case it will. That's interesting. Because normally they're okay as long as you're walking towards friendly territory, which is all we want. So I'm actually gonna box select all of my troops right now, and I'm gonna tell them all to go to Moscow, and then we'll work to reorganize things. So Muscovy has grown, Novgorod has been split apart, Finland is now a nation, and if we go to our diplomatic relations, we can see we're currently at 4 of 4. And why is that? Oh, never mind. Thought we'd be guaranteeing the independence of Finland at this point. That seems odd to me. Still, I think I actually will want to go above my maximum at this point, as odd as it is, because I would actually like to ensure that they're sort of aligned to me. Actually, I wonder with Ryazan. Is there any way we could vassalize them? No, we need more relationship. That's right. I'm going to have to tie up a diplomat to improve relations with Ryazan, to bring them up to 190, and then I can vassalize them. But I'm going to want to do the same thing with Finland. I don't want them becoming friends with anyone else, although they probably won't. Then we have a base boost to our relations of 100, which is really good, just because I released them as part of a peace deal. It will go away over time, but it's going to be around for a long time. We're the same religion, which is fantastic. So, you know what? We're going to go ahead and we'll offer an alliance, and then we'll do a royal marriage briefly. It will put me above my limit of relations. In fact, I get a warning for that, but I'm totally okay with soaking that. And, oh, Puskov wants a royal marriage. That sounds good to me. We already have a relationship, so this is not going to cost me anything more. Tver has entered a military coalition against me. So, because we took a bunch of territory aggressively, Tver here, Tver, if we mouse over them, they have 50% less relationship with us because of my aggressive expansion. Novgorod will probably have some of that, probably an equal 50. Oh, 60 actually, because we took it from them. Lithuania will also have a little bit of that, minus 22. They have less because it didn't affect them quite as directly. If we go over to Poland, we might get a little bit with them, but it's only minus 10. And if we go all the way over to France, they probably don't care. Oh, minus 3. It's going to go away in a year. They hardly care the fact that we've been doing some expansion over here. But if you get enough aggressive expansion, multiple people will join in this coalition against you. And then if any of them declare war against you, they all declare war against you simultaneously, which is why it's important to take a beat, take a breath from time to time from this conquest. Also, we need to recover our manpower, which has gone to basically 0 here. And we also are now overextended. If we go to stability and expansion, overextension, we have 36% overextension right now, which has some pretty significant penalties in a few different ways, and you never want to go above 100. Also, there's a risk of rebellion. There is always a little bit of a risk of revolt in Kasimov because they are Sunni instead of Orthodox. But there's a substantial risk of revolt in the 3 provinces we just took because there are some Novgorodan patriots there that will want to fight back. So there's a few different ways of handling that sort of thing. We have a strong enough military that I don't think any rebellion that might pop up will actually be a threat to us. We should be able to put it down. But we do need to take care of this overextension. So we click this manage button, and the way you deal with it is by building cores in those provinces. It will take us 49 administrative power to do, and it will take 27 months. Looks like it's the same everywhere, because they all have the same tax base. And then once they're incorporated into our country, they'll pay more taxes, contribute more to manpower, and the risk of revolt will go down to probably nothing, frankly, because they are Orthodox at least. That being said, before I make these cores, I'm actually going to want to boost my stability to +2, which will help reduce the risk of rebellion as well. Plus give me more tax money and all kinds of things. Very handy. Revolt's possible. Still says 9%, but that's all right. Yeah, and I'm going to move everyone over to Moscow. We're going to get them there. We'll talk about rebel stomping in a bit. Ooh, Western arms trade happened to us. We're actually losing some prestige from that, but our technology is getting cheaper. Novgorod entered the military coalition, but I think it'll only be Novgorod and these guys. And frankly, I think a lot of that will fade quite quickly. We have a lot of diplomats available right now. We want, Yaroslav wants a royal marriage. Sounds good to me. And we're going to start really sucking up to these guys, starting with Ryazan, because I want to vassalize these guys. So I'm going to improve relations with these guys. So every month we will get more relations. When we get above 190, we'll be able to offer vassalization. We already have a relationship with these guys, so we may as well bring it up to the next level. And in 7 more years, once we get to 1454, we will be able to start annexing our earlier vassals. Ryazan, we won't be able to start annexing them until 10 years after they become a vassal, but that's okay. And you know what we'll do? We do have an extra diplomat around, and I don't really have anything I need to do with them. Although I suppose I could be improving relations somewhere in preparation for 1454. But I think... No, there's no way to repair things with Lithuania. Never mind. I was going to say I could suck up to Lithuania, make it less likely they'll declare war on me, but that's not going to happen. I could do it with Kazan or the Golden Horde. Oh, they're actually threatened by me. That's very interesting. That's very interesting. There's potential for diplomatic shenanigans there, but looks like it's not going to happen. So you know what I'm going to do then is I'm going to suck up to Perm. So this will increase relations. This will give me a boost every month. And for a normal nation, like Ryazan over here, the maximum benefit that you can get from improving relations is plus 100. So if we keep looking here, we'll eventually get a line item here. Oh, improve relations. It's currently at plus 2. If I stop improving relations, that will slowly decay over time. This will cap to plus 100. That line item is capped to plus 100. But with our vassals, it's actually capped to plus 200. So we can invest quite a lot and make sure that we're above the 190 mark, definitely with Perm. In fact, I'll probably let my diplomats stay there until we get to plus 200, and then it'll slowly decay over time, but overall, Perm should be in a good position to vassalize as quickly as possible. They're bigger, so they're a priority there. So there we go, we're grouping up our troops. One of the things I can do for convenience here is I can group them up, and I can turn on this enable autonomous rebel suppression. If we get any rebels that pop up in any of these provinces, this army will automatically walk over there and go and smoosh it. If I'm worried about the rebels popping up, on the screen here with Handle them, these Russian patriots, here it tells me different things I can do to reduce the chance that they can rebel. One of the things I can do is harsh treatment in these provinces. It costs a certain amount of military power, but will dramatically reduce the revolt risk in those provinces. In fact, it will completely eliminate the revolt risk because it's currently sitting at 8.6%, and this will give minus 10%. So this wouldn't be a problem, but the fact of the matter is I've got more than enough troops to stomp them out. In fact, what I'm going to do, as I feel secure enough, I'm going to drop my army maintenance slightly. Not a lot, because there's a chance that I could get like a stack of up to 8 rebels that pop up, and I want to make sure that my troops, because I don't dramatically outnumber them and I don't have a big manpower reserve, I don't want to lose very much in battle against them, but I can take a little bit of a maintenance hit, and that will be totally fine. And I think that brings us to the end of this video. It actually went on a little bit longer than I intended to, but we got a pretty good start going on here, and the next few years, frankly, just chill. You want the aggressive expansion to go away. You want to finish coring all of those nations. Every time you hit 49 administrative power, you want to go and start coring one of these new provinces. And you can play the diplomatic game and bring in all your vassals. There we go. We've got our first revolts over here. Oh, and unfortunately, we actually had an army standing there, which is very annoying. It's only a group of 5, but it was very frustrating. We can actually reinforce right away. We've got a group of 5 right here. What I'm going to do is select this army. I'm going to get rid of this leader. Click no leader. And then I'm going to grab this army here. I'm going to merge them. And I'm going to give them a leader so that they can fight a little bit more effectively. We'll see if we can't save these guys. Oh! I'm hoping that they'll at least run away. Oh god, we're getting the revolts all over the place simultaneously. And they're popping up where my little individual units are. This is actually the only bad thing that could possibly happen, is this nonsense. Oh, we lost that battle. And they actually weren't able to run away in the first place. So you know what? You hang tight over here. We lost another one, so we're losing some more troops, which is bad, mostly because of the manpower loss. You hang out in Belaruso. If we get more rebels here, we'll at least be okay, because we've got an actual army sitting around. What I should have done is maybe merge them a little sooner up here, just had them group up. instead of having everyone go to Moscow. I like having my people sit in Moscow because it has the highest supply, so you're least likely to get attrition, especially in the winter. Whereas up in the north here, especially, there's very poor supply going on, so it's very likely that we'll get some attrition. Your allies, your vassals, do come and help you with rebel problems, which is very handy. Actually, I have quite a penalty here with the river crossing. So we're going to lose some more manpower here, which sucks. We'll win the battle, but we're losing just more troops. On the screen that'll pop up as soon as this battle ends, we'll see we actually lost almost 3,000 infantry there, which really bites. Although some of them may have been from some of my allies instead of my actual infantry. But it still really, really, really sucks. So you know what? I'm going to keep my maintenance up to the max up until the point where we feel like our manpower situation is okay, because I can't afford to lose these units like that. I'm going to park these guys in Belarus, or Beluzero, I should be saying, until we actually get a little bit more there. The siege is not going to happen that quickly, so we can afford to wait a tick. At the end of the month is when your morale goes up. I'm just going to speed it up. Wait for the morale to hit again. So on February 1st, we'll get to full morale, which I didn't really need to wait. Oh, not even full morale, but pretty darn close. We'll send them there, and then loop around back there. Speed up, go to maximum speed. Oh, we actually have enough administrative power to go and start coring one of these provinces, so I will do that. I'll actually start in... I'm going to start in... Where am I going to start? It doesn't really matter. Torzok. Because one thing I don't like is when the rebels somehow merge, it's really bad. So we're going to start in Torzok. Go and stomp these guys out. And then when they're done, we're going to go again and park in Muscovy. In Moscow. Or Moscow. People pronounce this in various different ways depending on what place in the world they are. And that is totally fine. So when they arrive, once again, we will just enable the autonomous rebel suppression. And now we should be fine. We've got a big doom stack going around. Any rebels that pop up we'll be able to take out. It's just those little groups of 2,000 men sort of isolated from everyone else. That was the bad position. So there you go. There is a way to start as Moscow. Now keep in mind, or Muscovy, keep in mind that your relationship or your particular game experience may vary depending on what those early alliances go like. Both in terms of what you decide to do, but also in terms of what the AI decides to do. You might have to respond slightly differently. Maybe you don't go to war with Novgorod right away. Ooh. We're losing a stability for nothing. Damn, that is really, really annoying. That sort of thing sucks. And again, here, do note, actually, this is wasteland, I suppose. We can't ever colonize this. But here, again, this is potentially colonizable later on. Much later on. But eventually, if you play Muscovy, you turn into Russia and you expand, you know, all over here. You become a huge green blob. Yeah, your color will actually change to green instead of this yellowish, beige-ish kind of thing. Anyway, that is it. See you next time, folks. And let me know in the comments below if you found this sort of video handy. I know it's not a full Let's Play, and a lot of people would like to see that. But for a variety of time reasons, I don't think we're going to take this into a full Let's Play at this time. But we could do, like, you know, the first X number of years for a few different nations. Maybe the Ottomans, I don't know. Let me know what you think. See you next time.